Good job. Congratulations. Congratulations.
In 2 months, Gina got one and Terri got one. That's 2 world championships right there. You got one more to go to Regis program. Let's go.
Let's go. Coach Tobler in the house. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
That's 2 champions in 1 month, man. And we got Regis coming up too. Man, you're speaking volumes, Coach. Your reputation as a strength and conditioning coach is amazing, bro. I mean, what you do to these athletes, your personal experience with fitness, man. You're turning these athletes into machines, man. They're dogs, and all your athletes are tough, Coach. Mad respect. Keep doing what you're doing.
The sport doesn't really, they don't really recognize conditioning. It's funny because the fight you have to be conditioned to complete a fight, and I just don't know if you can do enough boxing. I mean, they go hand in hand together, bro. So shout out to all the conditioning coaches who's doing their jobs and have passion for what they're doing. Just continuing to keep it. Some guys think they could do it by themselves, and a team effort. And I was a part of a great team, man. Oh man, I couldn't even.
Kind of going in and out.
Did his audio cut out?
Yeah. I kind of want to add on to what Coach is saying, because a lot of people take for granted the fact that you got to be in shape to take them punches. That's a big part of it. You want to be strong to take your opponent out, but you also want to be strong to withstand that war that you're about to be put into. So having a strength and conditioning coach that understands that and that, can build your armor and get you ready for that war is very important.
Yeah.
It's different levels of conditioning, like the stuff that I do, it taps to the boxing, it taps to movement in the ring, it taps into recovering, breathing techniques, and all the explosive endurance. And you got to know those. You got to know all the different ways to get those different pockets that a fighter needs to get into the ring, male or female. And each fight presents a different challenge, and it's going to be one of those fights where Mikaela has to keep that power.
We have to figure out that audio situation.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out, Coach. Yeah, the audio's messed up a little bit. Shout out to everybody coming in. We got Thomas from the Bronx. We got his audience in the house too. Salute to everybody tuning into TD Sports, tuning into Mo Boxing, no problem. We're live on multiple platforms. We got Coach Evins Tobler, who's Mikaela Mayer's strength and conditioning coach. Also, he's a strength and conditioning coach of Regis Progress, who has an upcoming fight against Jack Catterall here coming up soon in October. So shout out to everybody.
Yeah, Coach Tobler, can you
hear me now? What about now?
Yeah, way better.
I think you're good.
Better? Okay.
Hey, first off, man, congratulations. I'm so glad that Skywalker was able to, connect us back in the day. We definitely enjoy having you come on. And man, I think something that's definitely not it's not being talked about enough is the way she went up a weight class, right? She went up a weight class and she fought a killer at the weight class. Not only was she able to absorb the punches, the punch resistance was there. She also was able to sit down on some stuff. And I was like, man, that type of conditioning, you don't see that You don't see people going up another weight class like that and just doing the way she did it.
Yeah.
Congratulations, coach, man. I mean, if you got some, how'd you get her to 147 and be sturdy like that?
Well, you know, the deal is like Mikaela, I think Mikaela had a problem, not a problem, but she made 130, 135 because she's a fucking dog, bro. She's a constant professional. And as her body matured going up, I made sure that we didn't do anything that was going to take her over the top, but get her in position to handle that weight and handle on a comfortable level. So we did a lot of things with that weight, because I could have easily threw her in the weight room, doing a whole bunch of other things, but that wasn't my plan. My plan was to build the muscle endurance, speed, power, and like the recovery time. We did a lot of things that you know helped her throughout the fight with her legs, sitting down the punches. That little inch that you bend as a fighter helps with the power. And it's funny, if you've never done it before, it's very difficult. And that was our fight. Sit down, sit down. So I did a lot of stuff with her legs, a lot of stuff in the water, a lot of stuff, just body weight type things. And when she got to the fight, everything that we worked on, bro, I mean, she was sitting down on body punches. She was pop, 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 pop. And the training, you know, we was working on those things, but we had to do these things constantly, over and over and over and over again. And Coach Al, Coach Mitchell, and Coach Jaffe were like, we got to do these things in training. They transfer over to the fight. Right. And Kofi and Coach Al in the ring. And there was days that we collaborated. Some days where I had to do something different because she had a tough time in the ring. And so we had to adjust the workouts. But everything that I do, I tell fighters all the time, everything that we do, everything that I do is related to boxing. Because anybody can say they're conditioning coach. A lot of things that you do for different sports, the conditioning has to relate to the activity that you're asking your body to perform at that moment. If not, you're going to get tired. And we see that a lot in boxing, this high level. I see it, and I could pick out 10 fighters right now that could change their whole game plan. But I'm not doing that because they're not paying me.
You're building a really good reputation, man. A lot of people are starting to take notice. You know what I mean? And a lot of your athletes are always tough. Like the fights that your athletes are in, they can take punches. That's another thing that I noticed that's different from other strength and conditioning coaches. You may see the athletes strong, but you don't see them absorbing. And your opponents can absorb shots, bro. Like you're making them. I don't know what you're doing, coach, but man, you're making them super tough, man.
And it's all about recovery. It's all about recovery. And you know, when you look, I said this a long time ago, maybe a year ago. I said when I competed in track and field in the long jump, all I fucking ever did was run and jump. I can still run and jump right now. So when you're fighting, tell me why you're not punching. Tell me why you get tired in the ring. It don't make sense to me. So, man, I just thank God that I'm able to see things, and track and field was a big part of my whole entire makeup of learning different sports, the biomechanics of each sport. You know, I could condition any athlete because I know biomechanics. You know, I did a long jump and I had to run in the air 2.5 hitch kicks. So that's a lot of body control. So I know the body. Boxing is easy for me. I mean, all you fucking doing is punching. You got to get the athlete in position to punch. So
Coach, you talked a lot about recovery, and a lot of recovery comes from breath work, and breathing correctly throughout your exercises and throughout boxing. Do you have a technique or a way that you work on breath work with your fighters?
absolutely. Absolutely. That's a simple one that's an easy giveaway. Even if I'm running 10 times, 20 times 400 meters, you have to breathe. Whatever level you're asked to run that interval, you have to breathe just like you're breathing in the corner. Because we breathe differently in track and field. Hockey players breathe differently. Basketball breathe differently. Football, there's a different breathing pattern. So you got to figure out what that breathing pattern is for that athlete and try to work that in at the worst level of fatigue. That's free game right there.
I think you answered Jesus' question. He was asking about the breathing technique for boxing in the ring. So,
Yeah, no, if you're a fighter, you gotta be able to breathe. Even after having a 3-minute round to where you're flurrying, you got to figure out a way to recover from that. If you don't, you're going to be in trouble. But you have to have sessions throughout the training camp where athletes are practicing that during the fatigue stage.
What's also hard too is learning how to breathe in, like with sparring, with getting punched and trying to breathe, at the same time as you're taking the punch. And that's another thing with boxing that's different than a lot of sports. You have to really learn how to breathe, man, while you're getting punched.
Well, a lot of the punching and the breathing is according to how you relax. A lot of fighters going in, they're so tensed up. You never get a chance to calm everything down. You calm everything down, you can throw a punch fast as hard as you can, but if you're not relaxed, it's not going to work. The arm is relaxed. The power is in the end of the fist. You got to figure out a way so when that fist hits the target, it explodes at the most relaxed state possible. So you don't fatigue that muscle and build up lactic acid. Y'all make me go into a science part here.
Yeah.
No, that's good stuff. Good stuff indeed. Hey, Coach, so what do you do thinking about the body? Because some fighters, they can't really handle it to the body as well as others. And I know some training goes into that as well, making sure that you're ready to take those types of shots.
Yeah. Well, that also is a part of the breathing. No matter what we're doing, you can still throw some ab work in there. Those are basic things that people forget about, man. If you're a fighter, you should be at least do 500 to 1,000 sit-ups every day. I'm talking about old-fashioned sit-ups, bro. All the crunches, all the things that you have to do to strengthen that ab section. V-ups, crunches, old-fashioned sit-ups, man. You could crunch. Crunch is like putting icing on a cake, That ain't gonna make your stomach strong. It's like a layer, But a lot of athletes can't do a regular V-up. Where you come off the ground, your upper body comes up, you touch your toes, and you go back. A lot of them can't even do that. So you have to find ways.
You know what got me the other day with my abs? The ab roller, man. I hate the ab.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still hurting. Right?
Yeah. That's that body control, that whole body. When I do the ab roller, I go down, my knees are on the ground. If I'm bent, I go down, my knees are up, they're in the L position. Our whole body goes over and it comes back. My heels, I'm never on the ground. Some guys, they're on their knees, they lay out. When I lay out, my legs are up.
Right.
You got to come back up and see, when you pull that in, you can't pull the body all the way back. You have to stay on top of the wheel, pull the wheel in, like a cat hunches his back. The weight stays on top of the wheel. It's a big difference.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that one, even though I'm hurting already.
All your fighters are pro swimmers too. What's the advantage of swimming over running and stuff as far as cardio? It gives you a better workout.
Well, they're the same thing, but sort of the same thing. But swimming is like the fight, depending on what you're doing in the water and how you're breathing. Because you're moving your arms, you're moving your legs, and you have to breathe, and you have to stay relaxed. So that's like the fight. I love the pool. My fighters swim twice a week. We hit the pool twice a week. I don't play with that water. I got some crazy pool workouts, bro, for swimming.
Yeah.
Hey, Skywalker, you wanna get Thomas in before I ratchet
This
the
is
pressure up.
this is my brother Thomas from the Bronx. He was at Madison Square Garden Friday for the Mikaela Mayer Sandy Ryan card. He met Coach Evins Tobler in person. Got a great interview. He had Coach Evins Tobler right after the victory. And
Yeah. First of all, what's going on, Skywalker panel? What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well.
Lou Thomas.
Coach, what's going on? I don't know if you remember me. I caught you right after the win. You was jumping up and down.
Yeah, man.
Crazy. I wish I would have got you like 10 seconds earlier. Man,
I was over the moon, bro. I was over the moon, man.
you was hype, as you should be. That was first of all, that was a great fight.
Yes.
And you know, I thought it was an evenly matched fight. It was great, but just to hear, you know, and the new, I mean, that was a spectacular moment, you know. So, and I saw that you was hype, and I appreciate you coming and talking to me real quick afterwards. That was pretty cool, especially I got the first clip.
Oh, wow.
Right after, so, you know what I'm saying? And I immediately sent it to Skywalker. That's why afterwards I came. I was like, you know, my boy Skywalker, and he was like, yeah, that's my guy. So salute to you, salute to Mikaela Mayer. That was an awesome fight. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, appreciate it.
Hey, let's turn this thing up a little bit. Now we know Coach is the ultimate competitor, right? Like you even got the shit talking down real good. So I mean, did you make some suggestions or something? I'm not asking you to confirm or deny anything, but I mean, sometimes people just throw stuff at the wall and it sticks. You feel me? Sometimes it's red.
Well, the goal was just stay focused. It was real beef between the two girls.
Mm-hmm.
Real. And everything, and people think I be talking shit. I just speak facts, and it may sound like shit, but if you can't handle your own facts, that's the problem most of the time. Motherfuckers don't know how to take their own shit. If I did it, I did it. You know, so this was one of those fights where we had to channel that energy into her fist, and that's what we did. So I had sessions. We talked a lot of shit about it, and Mikaela is not backing down from nobody.
We see.
She ain't backing down when old girl hit it with, she thought she was gonna come in there and bully Mikaela, and I was like, that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you something. We had the sled, right?
Mm-hmm.
People doing the sled all the time, right? Mm-hmm. So guess what? That sled, we do that sled for 90 minutes, maybe 3 minutes.
That's what's up.
Okay? That's only half of the quarter of the round. That's more than half the round. So I knew she wasn't going to get bullied. But the problem here is that girl thought when she hit Mikaela, pop, pop, Mikaela hit her right back. So I had sessions where I had her doing shit. She was tired. I made her get right back at it. No breathing. Right back at it. So that right there, what I call it, it's like a brainwashing effect. The nervous system gets attacked just like that. And that's what happened in the fight. If you watch it, Sandy Ryan was biting down on those punches, and Mikaela pop and hit her right back with it. So she broke her will, bro.
There was an instance in the fight where I saw that Mayer dug deep. I thought Mayer got rocked a little bit, and I thought she stumbled a little bit, and you could tell like her face like changed, like that she dug a little bit deeper, and then she just like battled back. Like, and that's what made the fight as great as it was, because Ryan did come and try to bully her, and it was a back and forth. I thought it was an evenly fight. I thought it could have went either way, you know, but you could tell like Mayer was there, and she was well conditioned, and that all respect to you, you got it that way. Yeah. But you could tell in the later rounds, watching it live, she was digging deep, and she battled back. That 10th round, you know, that was all heart, and you know, so.
And they didn't expect Mikaela. They didn't expect Mikaela to go to the body.
Mm-hmm.
And coach was like, dig down, go to the body. We did that in training. So guess what? Everything we worked on in training, she sat down and she was sitting on those body punches.
Right.
I think our girl went to the hospital after that for them body punches.
Yeah. Coach, I got a question from Jesus in the chat. He said, did you see Ryan fighting angry, not controlling her breathing? Did you see her with her emotions?
Man, honestly, I wasn't really focused on her. I was looking at Mikaela, and I knew at the round after round, I was in the stands, and some guy was talking shit to me. I said, I tell you what, you can talk that shit, and I'm gonna come back over here in a couple more rounds. I said the fight gonna start around 6. But your ass right here, and I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. So after the round 9, 8, or 9, I looked over and he was still there. I wasn't gonna forget about his ass. So as soon as I hit my man, I went over there. I said, "What happened now? What happened now? What?" But it was all love, though. It wasn't no matter my. But I said, "Bro, that's when the fight, round 4, 5, 6. That's the fight. That's when you start seeing if people are ready or not."
Yeah.
Now, Standing Round was in shape too. She was in shape.
Now, let me ask you, did you worry when they were announcing the scorecards? Because the last fight,
the first, I was like, wait a minute.
She was robbed against Jonas.
Oh, yes, for sure.
She was robbed. I thought Mayer won that fight easy.
This fight was a lot closer than that, but yeah. I still think, I said Mikaela did those judges, man, those judges need to be gone for real. Yeah. It was close, but it wasn't no draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the perspectives are a little bit different from being from seeing them from where you are versus where we are at home. It's perspectives are a little bit different. We talk about that a little bit over here on our channel.
Man, they was digging.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. I don't know if anybody asked you, but do you know anything that happened with Ryan before the fight? Do you know anything that may have happened?
I was in the lobby, and I was at the bar just waiting for my team to come down, and I saw her walking out, and then coming back in, somebody threw paint on. I'm like, who would do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. People, we in New York City, bro. I've seen people snatch a rack of clothes and run down the street.
Don't give my city a bad name now. Come on, man, that's never happened before. It's not like y'all were in the Bronx. Y'all was in the city.
Yeah, I seen it in Manhattan. I seen people snatched up, and I seen a crowd open up and they close.
Yeah, that's true.
Bro,
I've seen it many times.
They're calling this fight of the year candidate, coach, and a lot of people were saying, man, this fight was real close. Some people are arguing with the scorecards, but everybody can agree it was a close fight, very tough fight. And me and Ernest said this right after the fight, man. We were like, man, if Coach Tobler didn't, if you didn't, you weren't with her for strength and conditioning, she needed that strength and conditioning. Mm-hmm. Just like Tommy, the detailer, he said, do you think the conditioning made her go the distance? And I believe, man, with your skill, you definitely made her win this fight, man, Coach.
I've been Taylor for years, and I've been telling her we need to get together. Not that her conditioning would suck, not that it wasn't working. I just said I could add something else. Yeah. I could add a little something else. And she trusted me this camp, and we did things a little, it's a little different. She's had great conditioning coaches before me. I just had a little different twist on how I wanted to do things and how I thought things would work out for her. She trusted my methods. She did everything first class. And, all athletes don't complain, but her complaints were not complaints where she didn't finish the work. Everything that we did, everything I asked her to do, she did it. And I told her it's going to translate over to the fight. Here we are. And
absolutely it did, because in my opinion, this was Mayer's toughest fight. Yeah. She's never been in a fight like this. I mean, the other two losses she had, arguably, she won as well. I thought she won the other two fights. I thought the last fight was a robbery against Jonas, and I thought against Bumgarner. I thought it could have went either way, but I had Mayer winning the fight. But this was definitely the toughest fight, and I'm telling you, if you guys seen it on TV, but being there live, you could tell she dug deep in those last 3 rounds.
He's right there, and you could hear it, the body punches she was hitting. She ready. She locked in.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say So I saw those other 2 fights as well, and I thought they could have gone either way. I will say that the difference that I saw in this one, which I think got her the edge, because I thought it was 97-93 is what I thought it was. I thought it was all Mikaela, is that when we got to those later rounds, her form didn't drop off in the way it did in some of those previous fights. So I think that's why some of the judges may have seen it going the other way in the two previous fights. But in this one, her form, it remained. So she was built for that attrition. And I guess that's your work going into play right there.
Man, look, I always sit tight in fights, even when Regis fighting. After round 4 and 5, now we're gonna have a fight because all the adrenaline's probably go down. Your nerves get calm in round 2. Round 3, you start picking it up. Round 4, you start picking it. Round 5, we going balls to the wall. Let's see who's gonna break first. And if you look at all the fights before Mikaela this year, I mean, come on, man. Look at the fights. Guys getting fucking tired.
Yep.
I don't get it, bro.
Yeah.
I should be working every 8 weeks. I should be working somewhere.
That's right.
You talked about it a little bit earlier about how you and the boxing coach kind of have to be on the same page and work together. Now, when it comes time for your fighter to get into the ring, your job is already done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how much or how fast do you take off the trainer hat and you look at it from a boxer perspective and you think, okay, this is what we have to do from a tactical standpoint in the ring? Do you ever cross that while you're watching your fighter?
I don't cross to any technical things. I don't do any of that. I just make sure that if the coach is telling Mikaela that I go to the train to the boxing sessions, whoever I'm dealing with, I go to the sparring sessions, and I want to know what the plan is, what they're doing, what's the game plan. And in this case, we wanted Mikaela to sit down on her punches. So I had to create training sessions to where I had her sitting down, conditioning that muscle to do what they were asking her. If they wanted more punches, I had to find ways to make her throw more punches during the cardio, during the conditioning sessions. So my thing is to make sure that when they say, well, we're going 8, they go 8 rounds. Okay, 10 rounds, to me, that's 30 minutes. I need close to 45 minutes of work with her. You know?
So let me ask this question a little bit more specifically. So we're sitting ringside watching your fighter fight, and like I'm saying, or let's just say your fighter's down a little bit. Do you ever in your mind, as we all do, we all sit ringside and we watch these fighters and we say, well, if they only throw the jab or if they only throw the cross, do you ever in your mind while you're sitting ringside ever think about those kind of things?
Oh yeah. I've been in sport long enough to know the things that the weaknesses that a fighter has, the things that they need to work on. Some fighters, they keep hands low, some keep them high, but you know, it's not my place to say, hey, I could do things. I could listen. When I see fighters, when I see them dropping their fucking hands, you know what I do? I put them fucking dumbbells in their hand and I make them fucking punch. So they don't even understand. They don't even understand. Oh, you're not holding your hands up, but guess what? I'm gonna get them 10-pound dumbbells. I'm gonna make your ass punch until your arms drop off. By the time you get to the fight, you can be way the fuck up here. So, I mean, I listen. I go to the sessions. I listen, and you know, I'm a boxing fan too. When I'm watching the fight, I see things, you know, and sometimes you could tell the coach. Sometimes the coaches don't see it. But I've been fortunate enough to be with coaches to know what they're looking at. So I don't really have the same thing. I think I do have those thoughts in my mind. And if I see, like when I saw Ryan hit Mikaela with a hard punch, I look at Mikaela's reaction. She take that shit. I was like, oh fuck, she ready. She ready. You know, so those are things I look for. Even with Jenny, when Jenny fought the girl in California a month before Mikaela, I was stretching Jenny in the locker room, and everything was. I was doing the stretching. Everything was fine. The glutes, her legs felt strong. Her everything was strong. I said, you're ready to go. The same with Mikaela. I was stretching Mikaela in the locker room. The glutes were fine. The hamstring was fine. She was light on her feet. I knew it was going to be an excellent night. So,
Coach, do you you know, I always like to ask. I'm into the psychology aspect of it. Do you actually incorporate any like psychological techniques in your training, or is that something that you allow to the coaches to deal with, or do you make an agreement to kind of do both? Because I mean, there would be some points where somebody might have to dig deep.
Well, yeah, I do. Everything I do is psychological. So look, some fighters can handle it, and some of them can't. So you got to figure out ways to get that in, right? Like I have, like I said, with the 20 times 400 meters, right? I'm gonna have you running 24 meters. If I tell you that, and you start complaining, I know you're not ready. If I usually I'll say something and I'll walk away and get my watch and say, let's go. I don't have no, that's mine. I get the mind ready. I tell them to do something and I'll just sit. I won't say one word because you don't know what's going to happen. You just got to, I tell them, don't fucking come here if you're not ready to work. Don't fucking walk through that door if you're not ready to work. I'm going to have some work for you. And I'm not going to tell you how long you're going to do it. You just do what I tell you to do. And a lot of times, man, they do it and they don't. I had a story. I was coaching years ago at the middle school level in track and field. I won 37 championships, 37 or maybe 40 of them. I had kids, 64 kids, middle school kids. They're grown women and men right now. I had a girl call me last week. She's 36 years old with 2 kids. She says, Coach, I never forget that day you told us to run 15 400s. Ooh. That was the toughest thing in my life. Ooh. I said it to them. I turned around and walked to the finish line, and they all were looking at me. And I was like, let's go. So when it came to race day, I said, hey, listen, what did we do in training? We ran 15 400, so you can do one, right? They look at me, yeah, I can do one. Everything you have. We never lost a competition. So even when I competed in track, I long jumped, right? When I took 10 steps, every time I took a 10-step long jump and I jumped 23 feet from 10 steps, I knew I was going to jump 26 feet. I didn't give a damn who showed up to the competition. I knew that was I was going to jump. And the same with fighting. If you got a 36-minute fight and we are training for 50 minutes, whatever we do, if we can do this for 50 minutes, the fight is going to be easy physically. It ain't even a brain. It's physical activity, but it's done way beyond the time that you're asking your body to perform. That's why I keep telling you, when you're working with me, you're not going to get tired. Because if it's a 12-round fight, we're training for 24 rounds.
Mm. Hey, Coach, I had a question. Oh, go ahead.
No, just all right.
I just want to ask you, Coach. I know that you're heavily involved in sports and weightlifting and bodybuilding, and I know that takes like a lot of discipline. But we're all military vets, man. You always come off like you're a vet, bro. Like with your training, with the.
I took a lot of y'all military stuff.
Yeah.
Hey.
We're all vets right here. You sound like our, like NCO, man.
Look, they train to break you.
Drill sergeant.
Because my coaches, the coaches I had in track were the best on the planet. And every time I came to the track to train, they never told they asked me, are you ready to go? Okay, we're gonna run. And I had this coach here in Houston, Wen Young Yang. He coached the first high jumper to jump 7 feet 11 inches. Held the world record for a long time. I remember one training session we had to do after weight training, we had to run 6 400s and 6 200s. I was like, Coach, I'm not ready. He says, go home.
Wow.
If you don't want to do it, go home. You're wasting my time. He turned around and walked away. He said, what are you going to do? You're going to run or you're going to go home? I got my ass on the track and I ran everything he asked me to run.
So that was going to be like kind of my question. Like, your methods, have you taken it from any other strength and conditioning coaches, any other maybe notable boxing strength and conditioning coaches?
No, honestly, bro, what I'm doing with these athletes, I lived as a track and field athlete.
Okay.
And I even had a chance to play the preseason in football because I could run fast and I could jump far. And my methods are just the things that I've been instilled in me by other coaches that I had throughout my years competing as a collegiate athlete and as a professional. Now, I know there's some coaches and there's some conditioning coaches that game I think that are pretty good. But I still think that we need, when you train the boxers, your training session has to be boxing related, all of it. And I honestly, I think some weight training is good, but the strongest people the strongest athletes in the world don't lift no fucking weights.
Yeah.
Gymnasts and military.
Mm-hmm.
And look, and even in the jail, one of my boys, Marlon, shout out to Marlon Johnson, 3MG Boxing. Anyway, they had this thing called 25 down,
Yeah.
30 down, 50 down. You can do whatever you want with that number. You know how many push-ups, and you could build anything off of that. So I take bits and pieces from people that I know what the hell they're doing, man. Then my own knowledge, and then the level of the athlete can always rise with physical confidence, what I call it. You get an athlete and doing all this work and they're having good sessions and their mind is intact, it's difficult to beat an athlete like that, you know. So yeah, I like I should have been in the military. I was going to go, but I was still competing in track, man. I like the discipline that they display as well.
Oh yeah.
I want to shout out Ryan in the chat. He lost his father. He's being buried Friday. He spent 4 years in the Air Force. Respect to your father, Ryan. Condolences, brother. So, yeah.
Condolences for sure.
Yeah.
But hey, I was gonna mention, Coach, you definitely had Jenny ready because after the fight, she had a bone sticking out her hand.
Oh yeah,
bro. I told Jenny. I said, just hold on for a minute. You are the perfect example of adrenaline levels. I told her before she got in the ring. I said, Jenny, your muscles, everything is on point. You firing, everything is moving quick, explosive. You're gonna have a great night. On the stretching, I told her just that, and she did that in round one.
Yeah, crazy.
And she kept fighting, bro. I was like, and so we sitting at the table, and she finally, after the interviews, after 10 rounds of fighting, she's sitting, and all of a sudden the pain hit. I said, hold that shit right there. I said, you learn something right now. I'm telling you, this is what I've been trying to get you to understand, that the mindset is very, very powerful. You just proved it to yourself. You got a fucking bone hanging out your hand, and you went 10 rounds with this. And when it hit it, the pain hit it so hard, I was like, I love it. I mean, come on, who does that?
Right. I hadn't seen it. It's crazy.
The girl she fought, Cobra Ruiz, she's tough, man. I mean, both these girls that you train went in the ring with killers, man. I mean, real good competition, not ducking no smoke, fighting the best. So shout out to the ladies.
Yeah, man. Women. It's funny because when I coach women basketball, they do everything correctly. You tell them to run a play, they run the fucking play. You tell the guys to run a play. I said, Coach, what? I said, run the fucking play. But it's women. They're more disciplined, man. They do that shit to the T. You think well, the play wasn't there. You could have ran something else. No, Coach, you said run this play. They're gonna keep going and going and going until they get it. So, women, they work. They got to work harder, man. It's crazy. They do it.
Yeah,
they've been doing it. So, shout out to women, like you said.
Hey, Coach, got another question from Dion Clubs. He was on the last interview with you when Mikaela popped in. He said, do any fighters' work ethic and training remind you of any notable bodybuilders you may know?
Yeah, my boy John Sherman, the guy that trained me when I was competing in bodybuilding. I got my ass kicked the first time I competed. I was like, fuck that. I'm winning every show. I won every show, bro. I won every. I did bodybuilding for fun. When it was time to go to the top professional, I was like, nah. I was in my 40s, man. I was like, I'm done. I'll watch it from the sideline, but I loved it. John Sherman was a monster, and we're best friends. I also learned a lot from him too. He's won Olympia stakes like 2 or 3 times. So everything I've done, all the coaches and athletes I've been around, man, they've been top class, world class, Olympians and professionals. You can learn something. I'm never too I don't know. I'm never too smart not to learn anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, sir.
So I'm always trying to learn something from people, man.
Hey,
Are you,
tell us about Regis. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Oh,
Like,
okay. I want to hear more about my
you-
boy Rougarou, man. That's my bro.
Yeah,
Man.
Rougarou.
if
Training.
you working with Mikaela, have you had an opportunity to do any work with Regis? Or I bet
Oh,
you haven't. He like, yeah.
Yeah, we've been working. Before I left, we was working. I'm tomorrow we right back at it. Before I left, that's why I came to New York on Thursday, because I was here training Regis for his fight. We right back at it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's how I learned about Regis. I was watching YouTube videos and I seen the boy complaining about the training. I was like, oh yeah, he getting worked.
Yeah,
And like he was complaining the way like he was mad that, man, I gotta go to train. I'm gonna beat somebody up type man.
yeah. But I told him, I said, you want to go to the fight. You're not gonna want to fuck with me, because I'm gonna pull everything out of you.
Yeah.
Pull it out of you. And Regis is one of those athletes, man. I've been blessed to work with that kid. He was my first world champion, 2-time world champion, soon to be 3. And when I tell you, Regis had that drive, that noble spirit. I mean, coming from New Orleans and all the things that they'd gone through, when that kid said he was going to be world champion, he was world champion. Started boxing late. You know, they said when you start this late, him and Mikaela started late in boxing. And guess what? They
Shit, we lost him.
Might have got a call or something.
He might have got a call.
But
yeah, 2-time world champion. And it's not supposed to happen, but they worked their ass off. And that's where they are right now. So as you get older, you know, you kind of adjust things to fit the athlete's age and stamina. But he had to slow down, and he wants this fight. It's funny because Regis is one of those athletes that relaxes when he gets once he had the belt, he just chills. But the drive to get the belt, he fucking crazy. I'm like, dude, you got the weirdest type of, but let's go anyway. I don't give a fuck. Let's work.
You think because wasn't he like in jiu-jitsu or like martial arts before that? You think that had something to do with it, with his mindset?
No, he's always been tough mentally. He's always been a kid that he's gotten shied away from work. So when I figured out he was that, I had to take the level higher. He's never going to outwork my mind. I'm never going to let him dominate the workouts. When I feel him doing something at that level, I take it another level. You know, when I can get an athlete to say, "Damn, man, what's next?" I'm good. And he's never been hurt in training. I've done a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of crazy shit with Regis.
Yeah.
Just for the mindset. He's a fighter. He's a fucking fighter.
Hey, y'all better be prepared for some retaliation. You better get him a paint shield, because I feel like somebody gonna want some get back.
That's crazy, bro. It's a make or break fight for Regis, bro. This fight's you know, he's got to win this shit, bro.
Jack Catterall. It's a good one.
When do you think? Well, you got up, but I want to ask, when are they going to go to the UK? Are they going to go a week, maybe 2 weeks before?
I don't know when we're going.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think would be best? Like maybe 2 weeks before or 1 week? I mean, the week of is all the press.
We'll probably go there. We'll probably go there maybe 2 weeks before. I'm not sure, man. I just go when they tell me to go, bro. I don't have under that shit.
Hey, it's too much temptation over there, bro. Listen, Regis had too good of a time the last time he went.
Oh, he know. He understands.
Yeah.
He understands.
And Tim definitely know. You know.
Was it difficult, Coach? Was it difficult to train 3 different fighters within 3 months? I mean, all their fights back to back to back.
No, not really.
Detailing.
Not really. I love this stuff, and you figure out a way to make it work for all the athletes, and they fall in line. They do the work, and you get.
Is it one destination, or do you have to keep moving to like different areas, or do they come to you? Like how does that work?
I was in Vegas with Mikaela. I was in Vegas. First, I was in Connecticut with her for the Olympics. She was commentating. We trained there for 2 weeks, and then we went to Vegas. So by the time my conditioning was up with Mikaela, training camp was starting at Regis, so it worked out perfectly.
Okay.
I was done. I don't condition 2 weeks before the fight. I'm done. There's nothing else more I can do.
Yeah.
So
And Coach, we
I
say
let it
3,
roll.
but I think it's 4. I think it's 4 because Rocky Hernandez just won a title, right?
Well, I worked with Rocky a little. I can't say I was his conditioning coach.
Oh, okay.
I was there and I was doing stuff. I was just helping Coach K out. Every once in a while, I'd do something with Rocky. But what a fucking tough ass kid, bro. I like that kid. I love to work with him. But he wasn't one of. I can't say that I'm a part of his team.
Right.
You know, I'm not his conditioning coach. I was in Vegas.
Yeah.
I was actually in Vegas the first time working with Josh Greer.
Yeah.
Josh Greer fight didn't fall through. I don't know what happened with that, but
his team's good people. I met them. They're with Vinalo Lopez too, Kiki and that Hector over there.
Yeah. I met Hector some years ago when I was working with Hannah Gabriel. He was working with Hannah. But you know, I stay away from all the business of boxing, man. I just stay in my lane, do what the fuck I do, get my money, and keep moving.
Yeah, man. That sound like somebody was saying. That sound like somebody saying they left a Diddy party early. You gotta read the small print on them NDAs. You don't know what you getting into.
Man,
but I left early.
Hell yeah. Get out of there. Get out of Dodge.
Hey guys, I gotta get out of here. Cool. So, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'll see you guys next week, man.
Thank you.
Right.
Hey, training for a fight, guys. How's an upcoming fight? Any tips that you could give him, man? Tobler, you get with Tim, man. He's got a fight coming up. So,
oh, really?
Getting back in the ring, yeah.
He is.
Tim don't want that work. Tim don't want that work. He gonna need about a year.
Fighting a youngster too. He's fighting a guy in his 20s, man. So
you can't.
You gotta let him get a couple in under his belt before he gonna get beat up.
Right? Yeah, I think so.
Look, I'm gonna tell you. I promise you. If I had to pick 2 things that I would do for a fighter, would be to run. Well, maybe 3. To punch. To punch. To punch.
Punch to punch.
Punch. Hit that heavy bag. Take your runs. If you just want to do some basic stuff, because remember, your legs got to be in shape. You got to have punch resistance. And I'm talking about punch resistance where when my legs are hitting the ground, that muscle builds up lactic acid. The same with boxing. When you hit that bag, it helps the lactic acid resistance, which is punch resistance. So I will punch the bag. You know, you start out at different levels. Hit the bag. Go slowly. Hit the bag. Get your runs in. Don't miss no fucking days. And do your ab work. That's it. Simple.
Good to know.
Yeah. Just punch, because you go ask your body to punch. If you ain't been punching, it's not gonna happen. You can spar, but guess what? You're not gonna throw 100 punches around the sparring, but you can do that shit on the bag. So punch. Eat good, sleep, and you'll do good.
Hey, did you see any well, you know what, that's not a fair question. I was going to ask if you saw some things that that maybe you noticed on her when she was fighting that maybe you would do something a little different with.
No. I tell you what, we can get better. We can get better. We can get stronger.
Okay.
Yeah, we can. So when I'm looking at Mikaela, I'm like, yes, great fight, but guess what? This is not my first time working with her. When you see her fight again, she's gonna look way better and be way stronger. They done fucked up now, like the old boy said.
Especially at that weight. Yeah, at that weight. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at that weight.
Oh yeah. She listen. Mikaela has so much physical upsize.
Mm-hmm.
I can do this. I can do this without getting her any bigger than what she is. She just, when you see her again, the next fight, she's gonna even look harder.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna look harder. She's gonna be way stronger.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know more or less what she would like to do next? You think a rematch? They probably try to do a rematch in the UK or something.
Man, I don't know what they're gonna do.
I know she wants
Whatever
Bumgarner.
they do, she's gonna be ready.
She wants Alicia, bro.
I like
Yeah, that's what I want to see, Alicia again.
Bumgarner to come up. She's gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, the weight factors in now.
And the build up to that fight would be
And Mikaela
excellent.
Yeah,
The build up, if there's a second fight, that build up to that fight, I'd pay a ticket just to be at the press conference.
Yeah, yeah.
That one.
Hey,
Yeah,
as long as they throwing paint and not bananas.
That's why they fill out the garden. I guarantee you.
Yeah, hey, yeah, I think that bad blood will build into it. You know, I like both of them.
Right.
Hey, Alicia,
You
she
said-
fought this past weekend, so she looks like she's ready to step back in there. So that's something that we'd be looking forward to for sure.
The garden would be great, and not the theater, the big house. And I'm selfish, so I wanted to come over to my city because I'll be there. So but the big house that would sell out. I think it sells out.
I think it would.
And I'm going to tell you something. I got to admit something to you guys. I don't know if you guys know this. I criticized this fight because as a New Yorker, I wanted to see Xander as the main event. Because the Puerto Rican population is big.
Yeah.
I'm half Puerto Rican, so I support the Puerto Rican fighters. So and then I like Shushu. So I was like, why are these girls headlining the fight? And I criticize it. And you know what? I have to eat my words, and that was the best fight in the card. And what's a shame about it, I don't know if you noticed this, Elvin. What's a shame is after the Xander fight, because it started so late, a lot of people left.
I saw that.
So a lot of people missed out on a great fight.
Yeah.
So
I saw that.
No, that was the best fight on the card for sure.
absolutely.
He's bigger than I thought he was. My daughter was born in Puerto Rico. I went to college in Puerto Rico, man. I love Puerto Rico. I love it.
Yeah.
All the Puerto Rican fighters, they work their ass off. I met a young Puerto Rican fighter, a young kid, a real young kid.
Yeah.
He's from the town that I went to college in, Caguas. The little kid.
Caguas, okay.
Top ranked.
Nice.
Yeah, I was. Every time I mention Puerto Rico, man, it's a soft spot in my heart, man, because Puerto Rico turned me into a man, bro. I'm telling you, I went there, I was 18, didn't know shit, I was hot-headed.
Talk to him. That's what's up, man. I got a lot of Puerto Ricans watching right now.
Shout out to Puerto Rico. I've been there a number of times. Got a lot of Puerto Rican friends. It goes down there. I've been there.
Oh, yeah. I love Puerto Rico.
A number of places.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I would love you guys to come back here in New York and maybe and headline again. I won't talk shit about it again.
Maybe it's a Bumgarner fight. You never know. I tell you what. You see this hat I got on? I gotta get a shout out to my son-in-law, man. Son-in-law does detailing. He the best in the Garden State area, bro. You ever in Hoboken? He does all the cars. He was on today's show. He does all these good detailing business, man. Check him out right here.
All right.
Oh yeah,
I'll be in Jersey in 2 weeks. There's a card in the convention center.
Look him up.
Yeah.
You see that hat, coach? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's detailing. Okay.
Yeah, hook him up, man.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to your family, coach, man. You have a beautiful family.
Listen, I told him, look, my son-in-law, all his family athletes. My side of the family athletes. My grandson, he gonna be the best out of all of us. That dude was hitting baseball off the tee at 1. He's 2. And you know what's the other funny thing? He got the same birthday as Devin Haney. That's crazy.
Hey, coach, I got a question from Raheem. He's in the chat. I was trying to get him to come up here. I sent you the link, Raheem. But Pro Say, the one that does the boxing gloves, he wants to ask your opinion on Devin Haney suing Ryan Garcia. He wanted me to ask you.
Man, they be trying to get me in trouble. I try to answer that question. But look, I'm gonna tell you something. We don't know what Haney feels. The young champ, he feels a certain way about the fight, and whatever he want to do, he can do. I don't really have any opinion on that thing, man. Everybody has their own feelings about it, and shit, who knows? He may win. I don't know. But Garcia put himself in position for stuff like this to happen.
Right.
So, I don't know. I don't know. I can't even answer that question. But if the young champ feels that way, then that's the way he feels. I don't have no opinion on it. I can't say it's wrong or right. I don't know. But it was hell of a fight.
What y'all think about it?
With you there for sure.
Right.
With you there. It came up on my little podcast earlier this morning. And I was saying, hey, Haney has the right to do it. You know, like Coach said right there. Hey, he's the one who was in there, so is his legacy, is his situation to deal with him and Ryan. So I'm neither. I'm neutral in it as well, as far as I can't clown him or anything just because he's doing it, but hey, he's the one who went in there and took those shots.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, there's been other lawsuits as well. This is not the first time a fighter sued another fighter after a fight. There's been multiple times that promotions have been sued after a fight. You remember and he won when it was
Was it
it was Arturo Gotti. It was Gotti and Gamache, the guy that trains Wale. I'm saying his name wrong.
Oh yeah,
was it
Gamache?
Gamache, something like that.
Yeah, I know you're talking
I might
about.
be saying his name wrong, but they sued because he came in way overweight, and he had to retire after that fight. He took a beating, and Gotti came in like almost 40 pounds over him. It was crazy. So there's been lawsuits in the past. So I mean, you can't criticize Haney for that. I mean, they were in the ring. They know they signed the contracts. They had all the dealings, with the promotions. They know what's going on. So if they got a lawsuit, and and think about this. What attorney is going to take a case that they don't think they can win anyway?
Right.
So the attorney would say, "Nah, you don't have a case." So if they got an attorney that believes that they got a winning case, then you know what? Something was wrong. And guess what? I want to know about it too. I want to hear about it. And I think more stuff is going to come out as well. So, hey, more power to them. I have no problem with it.
So I mean, all this stuff really, because I've heard all these opinions about it. And I see the answers for the opinions based on a cultural line versus what's the difference between right and wrong, right?
Yeah.
So I got a problem with it. So if a person is using PEDs or they're using, steroids, let's just say the word, right? If you use that and you get in a fist fight with somebody, what do you call that? Is that attempted murder? Is that assault?
Yeah.
Right? Like, is that a battery? Like, what is it? So it needs a title.
I don't know if it's a charge, but in the sport, in any sport that's drug testing, it's a foul. There's suspension. So it's not fair.
But you're using an illegal substance.
Yeah.
Number one, you're using an illegal substance.
Yeah.
And it's going to cause you to be able to do something to somebody that you might not be able to take back. So I'm not gonna knock at people calling them soft and this and that, but whatever, man, that's his thing. But if y'all start talking that cultural smack, I got an X on my forehead. I can get straight to it, but I'm neutral for the most part.
Yeah. Hey, and that's a good point right there. And Coach, you would know firsthand. So what do you think this is a little bit different about, like the stuff that fighters are putting in their body in terms of, someone like Ryan, for instance, you could say, "Oh, I didn't know what I was taking or whatnot." What are your thoughts surrounding that?
Well, I think in some incidents it could be that you don't know what the coaches give you. But when I competed in track and field, the sport was dirty. The top guys was doing shit that you never imagined. You remember Lance Armstrong? He passed all the drug tests. Marion Jones, all the drug tests. So as an athlete, fuck that. I don't want nobody dirty. If you dirty, then make the shit legal so everybody's on an even playing field.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm saying make it legal. If you want to make it, you can't catch cheaters. The best man to win. So I don't condone that shit. I mean, if you take you're gonna have an advantage.
Exactly.
You're gonna have
especially
I mean, shit. I mean, you're not supposed to do it. People do it because they believe in their heads that it's going to be an advantage. And physically, if you're taking something that's going to make you stronger, if you're stronger, that means you're a lot more powerful, you're a lot more flexible, you recover faster, and you can work longer. That's all boys do. You got to have the talent. But it's going to make, if I ran 8 times 200 meters, I'll be running 20 of them motherfuckers because that's what it does. It gives you the ability to work longer.
Yeah.
So if you work longer, you'll be in better shape.
And the science says that even after you stop using it, you still are going to be receiving some of the effects.
Yeah, so that's why they have cycles. They call them cycles.
Yeah.
They use it and they done. And boxing don't have enough fucking drug tests. They don't randomly test. I remember being in the fucking movie theater, telling the IOC where I was. They came to the fucking movie theater and wait for me to piss. Back then you had 48 hours to do it. I was mad as fuck. I was like, you fucking tested me when you got other guys that are jumping way further, running way faster. You ain't even testing them.
Yeah.
That's always a sore spot in my mind, bro. Because I lived it as an athlete, sitting next to a motherfucker that I know can't beat me. All of a sudden, he running 10 flat when he ran 10.5 last year.
Hey, we lived it in the military. Them random drug tests, they want to see it from the tip to the bottom of the bottle.
Absolutely, I like boxing. Boxing is a live or die sport. If you got athletes that's using that shit, bro, they can punch somebody, man. They can kill somebody, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to get better with the testing.
Yeah.
And if you fail a drug test more than once, you're done.
And it seems like
a penalty in the contract, a severe penalty in the contract. They're saying lawsuit, but this shit should be already covered in the contract. You know what I mean? Where there's like some kind of severe penalty where, monetary, whatever,
that money back. They'll get that whole purse back.
Right.
I think they should force them to reset their body back to normal, meaning you're going to go to this jail for a year and you ain't gonna be able to take nothing, and you don't have to train until your blood levels get back to where they're supposed to be at.
It sounds funny what you're saying, but I tend to agree with you because it's a combat sport, and somebody can die in a combat sport. When both fighters are clean, somebody can die. Imagine somebody's got an advantage in a sport where you're getting hit in the head. I believe that in the contract or something, when you sign a contract to fight, there should be a stipulation where you got to serve time, where it's illegal. It's not only illegal, it's not only cheating in the sport, but it's a law and it's illegal to do it, and you should pay for the crime, right? Whether it's 3 months in jail, 6 months in jail, or a big suspension, probation, but it should be on your criminal record. It should be criminal if you get caught cheating. And especially if they prove that you purposely cheat, because over the last 10 years, more and more things have come out about cheaters and people popping dirty and stuff like that. Some people say it's accident. You got the thing about the legal and illegal doses. There's a certain limit on certain things, and I think they need to just, nip it in the butt and just make it illegal to do this and illegal to do that. And you'll see that these guys are not going to chance not only their purses, but they're going to chance, and their careers. They're going to chance, getting a record.
Yeah.
Maybe this lawsuit could be a catalyst for something like that.
Because there's some dirty ones out there for sure.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. But man, my daughter was trying to call me. I need to call her back.
Cool, Coach. Hey, I appreciate your time, Coach.
Right, Coach.
Man, I always like talking boxing with you guys. I get too hyped up, man.
I saw it personally, so it was great to meet you, man, in person. It was awesome, man.
I appreciate Skywalker. I appreciate it, man. Anytime you want to have me on, man, just give me a buzz and I'm in. But blessings on work, man. Continue to rise in this sport and give people real shit, bro, real talk. Because people all they want, but the real shit never fails. So that's what you guys do. And shout out to your podcast, man. God bless. We'll talk.
Right, Coach.
October 26th.
Yes, sir.
October 26th.
Regis Programs, Jack Catterall.
Be in the mix. Peace.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, Coach.
Good stuff.
Hey, yo, let me get this off real quick, man. I'm the one. I got a moral compass, but I also am a firecracker when I need be. You feel me? But hey, look, this weekend we were entertained by some amazing and incredible fights. Shout out to all the athletes and stuff like that. But entertainment is one thing, but if y'all can, man, if y'all know people that have been affected by the hurricanes and the floods, there's nothing more important in life than being there to be supportive for people when they're in need. They lost everything. I'm talking about everything. Like this is the type of damage they got, is unrepairable. So we're about to be in a situation where you're going to have people that are starving. They're trying to find their way through the woods and through the forest, out of water to be able to get some help. They have no power, no electricity. The cell towers were all wiped out. So just, y'all make sure y'all keep an open mind for the people who have lost everything. And if you got some type of way to help and support, do what you can. And just, that's my message for that.
No, 100% on board with that. I think that is a good thing. And there are a lot of sites out there where you can help, a lot of groups, FEMA, etc. So check it out for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that they'll take volunteers too. That, when Katrina hit, what I'm saying, a lot of people went to New Orleans to help out. But you know what I mean. So
yeah, bro, bridges and roads.
Yeah,
you're gonna need
gone. They're gone. Like.
Yeah, I've been hearing different things. North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, you name it, just all along the coast. Yeah, some places where you can't really access them except via helicopter. So it is a serious thing for sure. And I know FEMA is going to be out there. And for those that are interested in helping all that stuff, they can look up. You can just Google it, FEMA reservists. They're always looking for people who are able to volunteer. You would get paid, so it's not volunteer in that sense, but people who are able to go out and support these disasters that happen throughout the country.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, sports is one thing, and entertainment, but there's those things don't exist without the people.
No doubt about it. Matter of fact, I'm going to drop that in the chat.
Yeah.
Nice.
For folks.
Now, everybody on this panel, how many of y'all actually picked Mikaela to win?
I did.
I picked her to win.
I did not.
I had her. I think I went split decision pre-fight. So
I went with Ryan and I rooted for Ryan in the fight, even though and I have to admit I rooted for Ryan because I felt bad of what happened to her. I thought that was messed up. So I rooted for Ryan. People were mad at me because I was in a section, like I had credentials, but I was right by the ringside. I had a ticket too, and I was right behind Coach. Coach was like 2 rows in front of me, and we was in Mikaela's corner because it was that corner outside we was on, and it was like USA, and I was like, I guess I'm a Benedict Ardo. I didn't think of such stuff, but I didn't have no ill will towards Mayer. Like I was happy I saw a great fight. But I wanted Ryan to win just because of what happened before that, So and I actually thought it was a draw. I thought it was a closer fight than what it was. I need to watch it on TV because sometimes watching in the fight and watching on TV, you get better angles in TV and you see it better. And then when you're watching it at the fight, you only see one angle, right? As far as the TV, they're moving it around, so it's hard. And then people jumping up and people standing up pretty much the entire fight. So. It's kind of tough to see over people and through people and stuff like that. So yeah. I have to admit I was wrong. I picked Ryan and I lost, but I'm happy for Mayer because she's been on the bad end of the stick twice, especially her last fight against Jonas. I thought she was completely robbed. She dominated that fight, but so I guess they think they kind of made up for it this fight. Not that it wasn't earned. It could have went either way. So congratulations to her.
Yeah, I had MD. I had a majority decision for Mayer. That's what happened. What it ended up being, but I didn't get all my picks in on time, so there are a chunk of them I missed. That's why I'm down there. So I only was able to do the ESPN fights. I didn't do any of the other ones, I believe, or some of the ESPN fights, but it had already started by the time I got my picks in, so I didn't really get to get everything, and that's why I'm low down there on the totem pole. With that being said, I thought that Mayer would outwork her in the tail end, and that's ultimately what happened. I saw the Mayer Jonas fight a little bit differently. I thought Jonas deserved that nod based on what I saw. I thought it could go either way, but my thing is what I was talking about. I thought Mayer later on in the fight, she finds herself in those situations which she didn't in this fight, where she's kind of just lunging in because she loses her form and you see her upper body forward more, and that's how she was getting caught with some cleaner shots from Jonas, I felt, in that contest. So that's why I wasn't arguing against Jonas having gotten the victory but that being said, if it had gone the other way, then I would have supported that as well.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm for all our international fans or whatever, I'm gonna give y'all a little nugget. All right, do what you will with it, but it goes a little something like this. Don't believe what it is that you see on television. All right. There is a ghetto in every place in the world, and they got their own type of people there, their own type of ways. Sometimes you got to check in, sometimes you don't. But it's best if you traveling somewhere that you're unfamiliar with, you need to get familiar real quick. So if you come over here in the States, you might could get robbed if you walk in the wrong neighborhood. It ain't got nothing to do with you. You just will be a victim of circumstance. You feel me? So yeah, listen, I felt kind of bad for the girl that she got paint through on her, but I also believe that was her moment to step up and make herself like a legend by defeating the adversity. Great people in the past have experienced far worse things than having some paint thrown on them, and they've shown their resilience. So, we're sorry that happened to you, but if we went over there, we could get robbed too, stepping in the wrong spot. So,
I agree with that. You're 1,000% right, but there's emotion involved, and women are more emotional than men are. So, she was very emotional after that. She was crying and stuff like that. So I think you're a little too rough on her in this case. I know what you're saying, and you're 1,000% right, but a little disagreement there, just because females are a little bit more emotional, and there's an emotional factor to it. So it took her out of game plan. But I will say this: Ryan in her post fight. So it was a close fight. You can't say robbery, close fight. She kind of alluded to that as an excuse, and not saying it's a valid excuse in some ways, but she definitely admitted that she lost, right? So I take that as she took it as a defeat. She may say if she won, but she said, I was off my game a little bit because I didn't do this, I didn't jab more, and and I came out fighting rather than box. So to me, that's an admission of defeat as well. So. But yeah, man, it's emotional part to it too, bro. So
yeah, we got her off her game. We got her off her game plan.
Yeah.
But this was another thing that I've mentioned several times in the past. Those pre-fight interviews, man. Like the dude who was doing the interviews, he said something to Xander. He was like, "Hey, so what do you plan on doing with this guy? He throws 85 punches around." Then with her, he was like, "Well, we understood some bad things happened to you. How do you feel about having that paint thrown on?" He's like, I'm trying to get my mind locked in to go get in this ring. And you over here, that's psychological warfare, my guy.
Yes, that's true.
All day, psychological warfare. People use it in different ways. Ali used to lose it. He used to talk trash. You feel what I'm saying? So that's psychological warfare. And I don't want to say that women are more emotional or whatever, because in this particular situation, we're talking about a fighting sport.
Yeah, that's
fair. I'm not going to go that way. I'm not going to go that way with it, because I do believe, it's a woman versus a woman. Yeah. You got y'all dealing with each other. If you're hormonal and she hormonal and she get mad and want to beat shit out of you, then and that's what we got. Yeah. I'm not going to say Mayer had something to do with it. I think that would have been a hell of a plan if she did. That's cold if they came up with that, because it worked.
Hey, the UK has done worse. The UK, there's been worse situations with cheating and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just messed up. It had to happen in New York, in my city. And it was early enough where it wasn't really like crazy people out at night, because I don't know if any of you been to the Garden late, like I was. After the fight, there's a lot of craziness outside of the Garden itself. So, but
yeah, that's wild.
Hey, you make a valid point. I agree with you. I just wanted to throw that in there a little bit, but no, I don't disagree with you at all. I just a little emotional because women are different than men. But you're right. They're two women against a woman against a woman, and this is combat sports. So you gotta, it's psychological too. So
I actually thought that it crossed my mind, honestly. Like, dang, should I change my pick to Ryan? Because I felt like that was going to take her to the next level right there when that happened. But I stuck with what I had there. And it was just a matter. I think even if it would have been men And I think that, yeah, you'd have some, they might deal with it better than the other guy, you know. So it's one of those situations. But hey, we got a good fight out of it for sure. But
she almost, let me tell you, Mayer was hurt. I forget what round it was, but Mayer was hurt. She did the stanky leg, bro. Like she almost got her. She almost got her out of there. Like, you know, she didn't drop her, but she was hurt, bro. So BBO, somebody got to throw him out the chat. BBO's a clown, man.
Hey,
man.
Mayer had her stunned a few times, bro.
Early. I thought early she had her stunned. Yeah.
She caught her with some shots like around round 9 or 10. And old girl was like, wait a minute, hold up a second.
Yeah.
She just came to 147. How's she thumping like that?
Yeah. No, she definitely both of them caught their attention. I thought Mayer was hurt more because she wobbled. But yeah, you could tell in the face of Ryan's face a couple punches. She was just like, wow. You know, yeah, definitely. No, I mean, that was a great fight. One of the best fights I've seen in person. So shout out to, and I criticized the fight, bro. I criticized it. Yeah. I said there's no way this should be the main event. And look, Shushu kind of laid a little bit of an egg, right? You know, that was a close fight. You know, and I love Shushu. I'm pro Shushu to the death. Like, you know, and I just thought he laid an egg. He had opportunities in that fight, didn't capitalize. You know, they were screaming at him to throw certain punches that were there for him. You know, Xander did well. You know, he didn't get the stoppage. I thought Xander had a great performance. Tiger Johnson underperformed. Yep. You know, that was another close fight. You know, I thought Tiger might have lost that fight, honestly. You know, so shout out to the women, man. That was an excellent fight. And, you know, women's boxing, it's looking good. We're getting good fights.
I got to speak up for Shushu a little bit because ESPN and Top Rank, or, you know, those guys, they got some tricks up their sleeve. With this fight mirrored. This fight mirrored for me the fight that Shakur and Nakatalia had.